Hey and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's begin with our daily news. Mikel Arteta says Gabriel Martinelli can get even better at Arsenal. Gabriel Martinelli has been one of the stars of the show for Arsenal in what is turning into quite the memorable season. The Gunners have come from being nowhere near last season to being title contenders and face off against Manchester City in a few weeks, knowing it's a game that will define their season. But regardless of the result in that game, a number of Arsenal players can look back on the season with pride, one of them being Brazilian forward Gabriel Martinelli. Last season, Martinelli looked the business at times but never quite had the consistency or run of games needed to really have that huge impact. But this time around, he's been one of the key players. Martinelli seems to be getting better with each passing week, and speaking in his presser, his manager Mikel Arteta claims that the Brazilian can actually get even better. Arteta told Football London, "He is playing more games, that's for sure. He's got another year of experience, huge understanding with his teammates. The way he approaches those games, it's to be the best. I am not surprised about that. The good thing is there is still a lot to improve." Martinelli recently signed a new contract with the Gunners. His new deal is believed to be earning him around £180,000 a week. The young South American is already on the way to being such a player, but given his age and his potential, Arsenal might well have a world-class talent on their hands. Martinelli has been frightening at times this season. He's brought goals, assists, and a threat from the wide forward areas that few players are capable of bringing. If Arsenal can ensure Martinelli keeps improving and, crucially, remains in North London, then they will indeed have one of the world's best. RB Leipzig looking to lure 21-year-old talent away from Arsenal. Arsenal's Folarin Balogun has made a name for himself during the 22-23 campaign, as his loan spell in France with Stade Reims has been very successful. The striker has scored 18 goals and has assisted a further 3 across 29 League One matches, and now many clubs are lining up a move for the Arsenal star this summer. The 21-year-old is expected to return to North London at the end of the season, when the Premier League club will decide his future and at what price they would be willing to let him leave. According to Todd Vigaches, one club that is interested in Balogun is RB Leipzig, as the German club are set to be without starman Christopher Nkunku from next season, with the French star joining Chelsea. Leipzig are set to want to add a goal scorer to their ranks, and it would be a good next step for Balogun should Arsenal not want to give him a chance. The Gunners could always insert a buyback clause in his contract, which would still keep them attached to the striker in some form, but all this will come down to Mikel Arteta and the Arsenal board. Darren Bent says Arsenal have made one of the worst signings in the Premier League history. Darren Bent has been discussing some of the worst signings in Premier League history on talkSPORT, and inevitably, Nicolas Pepe came into the conversation. Bent discussed the idea that Harry Maguire may be the worst value for money signing in the history of this league, but he had an epiphany that many of the biggest money signings in the Premier League don't work out. Indeed, Bent states that the likes of Romelu Lukaku and Jadon Sancho haven't worked out, while he labeled the signing of Pepe for £72 million as awful. Bent spoke about Pepe and some of the worst signings in recent years. He said, "I said something and I thought I was being harsh when I said he would be the worst value for money signing in Premier League history. Transfers over £70 million don't work out well. Lukaku hasn't worked. Sancho hasn't worked. The only two are Alisson and Van Dijk. Off the top of my head, Pepe £72 million, awful." The signing of Nicolas Pepe for £72 million was a bad signing. Don't get us wrong, but it's been made to look so much worse due to the presence of Bukayo Saka Indeed, if Saka didn't come through the academy almost as soon as Pepe signed, then this purchase wouldn't look anywhere near as bad, as Pepe would probably still be in the Arsenal team. However, the fact that the new £72 million man was immediately outshone by an academy graduate didn't bode well for him, and from then on, things only went downhill for the Ivorian. He is certainly one of Arsenal's worst signings, but to call him one of the worst signings in Premier League history may be a bit of stretch, considering some of the draws we have seen in recent years. Arsenal keeping tabs on a 20-year-old defensive prodigy. Swansea defender Nathan Wood is attracting the interest of Premier League clubs with his performances in the Championship this season. The 20-year-old has been a key player for the Welsh club, and he has made 38 appearances across all competitions for them this season. According to Fabrizio Romano, Arsenal and Tottenham are keeping tabs on him. Wood is regarded as a prodigious talent with a big future ahead of him. His performances have been quite impressive in the Championship, and it's no surprise that the top clubs are looking at him. Both Arsenal and Tottenham could certainly use more depth at the back, and Wood could prove to be a quality long term acquisition. The 20-year-old central defender can also operate as a defensive midfielder because of his composure and quality on the ball. His distribution skills would certainly make him a good fit for clubs like Arsenal and Tottenham, who prefer to build from the back. Furthermore, the opportunity to play for these clubs would be a major step up in his career, and Wood is likely to be attracted to the idea of joining them. It will be interesting to see if Arsenal or Tottenham decide to follow up on their interest with an official bid at the end of the season. The player has a contract with Swansea until the summer of 2024, and the Championship outfit could consider selling him in the summer in order to avoid losing him on a free transfer next year. Arsenal remain keen on a 23-year-old attacker who is valued at €90 million. Arsenal are reportedly keen on signing Dusan Vlahovic from Juventus at the end of the season. According to a report from Calcio Mercato, the player is a target for clubs like Chelsea and Manchester United as well. Arsenal have tried to sign the player in the past, and the Gunners are not ready to give up on him just yet. The 23-year-old has 11 goals and 4 assists to his name across all competitions, and the Italian outfit are prepared to cash in on him at the end of the season. Apparently, the striker will cost around €90 million, and it remains to be seen whether the Gunners are prepared to pay that kind of money for him. It's no secret that Arsenal need to add more depth to their attacking department, but €90 million for a backup striker seems quite unreasonable when the side is in need of reinforcement at the back and in the midfield as well. Vlahovic has done reasonably well since his move to Juventus, but he has not been able to live up to the expectations. The Serbian international was expected to develop into one of the best strikers in the world. A move away from Juventus could be ideal for the player right now. He could use a fresh start, and a transfer to Arsenal would be the ideal next step in his career. However, the asking price remains absurd, and Juventus will have to lower their demands in order for any transfer to go through. Arsenal are increasingly tempted to bring their former player back. Arsenal have been linked with Ismail bin Nasser as one of their targets for the summer, and the Sun reveals they remain interested. The midfielder was partly groomed at the Emirates and left for Empoli in 2017 before becoming one of the finest midfielders in Serie A as he plays for AC Milan now. The Algerian is a superb player and one of the first names on the team sheet at the Serie A club. Arsenal believes he can deliver for them if he returns to the Emirates, and the club wants to ensure they do the deal. Mikel Arteta has some fine midfielders in his group now, but he would need more players to do well in the Champions League next season. Ben Nasser has done well since he made his debut in the Italian top flight, and it would be great if he performed so well in our books. The Algerian is one of the finest midfielders around and will challenge our current options to become even better. However, He will likely not come cheap because he is a key player at his present club, and teams from outside England believe Premier League clubs have a lot of money to spend on transfers. Chelsea think they can beat Arsenal to the signing of Victor Osimhen. Arsenal could be facing up to missing out in getting involved properly in the race for Victor Osimhen thanks to Chelsea. Osimhen has become one of the stars of Europe this season. The Nigerian has been the driving force behind Napoli's superb season, both in Europe and in Italy. That form has led to admiring glances from across the rest of Europe, and according to 90 Minute, it's Chelsea who believe they can get a deal wrapped up. 90 Minute reports that Chelsea's desire to land Osimhen comes even without a Champions League football. The Blues' miserable season has seen them down in mid-table, with Frank Lampard now tasked with picking results up between now and the end of the season. Osimhen has been in outstanding goal-scoring form this season. The 24-year-old has smashed in an impressive 25 goals in just 29 games this term. It's claimed that Chelsea think they can outbid any other onlooking club when it comes to Osimhen. Napoli are hoping to get at least £100 million for their phenomenal striker and are well known for driving a hard bargain. Of course, Arsenal have been heavily linked with Osimhen, as have Manchester United, but it seems that both the Gunners and United face the prospect of missing out to Chelsea right now. Whoever is lucky enough to land Victor Osimhen is going to be getting quite the player. This is a striker who has a bit of everything in the locker, and he will help transform a side like Chelsea. For Arsenal, the idea of bringing in another top number 9 to challenge and play with Gabriel Jesus is also enticing. Osimhen is simply one of the best in Europe, if not the world right now, and if it is indeed Chelsea who get him, then the battle lines for next season will have been drawn. Declan Rice can't stop telling his teammates how much he rates the Gunners under Arteta. Declan Rice is reportedly Arsenal's top target heading into the summer transfer window, and apparently he is a huge fan of the Gunners. Indeed, according to The Independent, Rice has been really impressed by Arsenal this season, so much so that the £80 million Arsenal target has been raving about the North London club to his West Ham United teammates when he's watched Mikel Arteta's side with his teammates. To be fair to Rice, anyone with a half-decent footballing brain has been blown away by Arsenal this season. Not only are Arteta's side the league leaders right now, they are playing in such an incredible fashion that hasn't been seen since they were playing at Highbury under Arsene Wenger. It's a style of play that is gorgeous to watch, and the cherry on the cake is that it's being implemented by a team that still has so much room to grow, with the likes of Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli, Martin Odegaard and William Saliba being nowhere near their prime ages yet. This Arsenal team has the ability to grow into something truly frightening, and it sounds as though Rice realizes that. The England star has supposedly been telling all of his teammates just how good Arsenal are, and luckily for him, he may get the chance to be a part of this incredible project next season. It's no secret that Arsenal are huge on the idea of signing Rice this summer, and with West Ham staring down the barrel of relegation to the Championship, the Gunners could also end up picking him up for a bargain fee. Whether or not Rice heads to the Emirates remains to be seen, but playing for a team that he rates so highly is likely a prospect that excites Rice, and it wouldn't be surprising to see him make this move in the summer. I will be uploading daily Arsenal news, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.